Glad to have you join us on the big interview segment on New Dawn right here on Ogtv, the People's Telly. Now, every June 14, the United Nations actually have set it aside as the World Blood Donor Day, a day where people are reminded of the importance of blood donation, and people are encouraged to donate blood. And then people are also told the importance, the essence, and the help that we are going to be making each time we go out to donate blood. Now, this year's celebration was just last Saturday, and we feel it's imperative that we bring it and then we talk about it so as to further create awareness, so as to let people know more about blood donation and encourage people to actually go all out to donate blood at every opportunity that they have. Now, to discuss this with us in the studio this morning, we have two guests who are going to be helping us out. From my immediate right is AMINAT OLANREWAJU. She is a medical laboratory scientist. It's a pleasure having you join us on this conversation.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
And to complete the team is OLUWOLE BABATUNDE, also a medical laboratory scientist. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
My colleague is also here, Moses Ojomi. Moses.
Yeah, good morning. Every second, someone somewhere needs blood. A mother in childbirth, the woman battling, cancer, a victim of an accident, yet safe blood is often in short supply. So let me start with Mr. OLUWOLE BABATUNDE. I mean, how
Parents, at the point of needs, when the clinicians receive patients and they notice that the person is anemic that will be needing blood, there are procedures to follow. A request will be sent to the laboratory, where the medical laboratory scientist in charge will relate with the patient relative, tell them the procedure. They have to get donor who will go through a pre-donation testing. Once the donor meets the criteria, then the person can go ahead and do the donation, which after that there are other procedural tests that need to be carried out before the blood will be fit for transfusion. So there are laid down rules that make it transparent.
And accountability?
Yes, in terms of accountability, there is documentation. All the blood we have collected from beginning of this year till this moment, there are records for it. Even from now till some years back, there are records for it. So there is accountability in everything that is done.
Now, do we have enough sensitization, really? Do people really understand the essence of blood donation? I mean, because yes, we have been talking about it over time, but have you seen a shift really in people's attitude, towards, donating blood?
Yes. Yes, a lot of people now know the importance of blood donation because, even with sensitization, although we can still do more in terms of telling people the importance of blood donation, but even within recent World Blood Donor Day that we had at State Hospital, Abeokuta, on Saturday, a lot of people turned out for voluntary donation. Up to yesterday, we still have voluntary donors coming in, trooping in to donate blood. Yes.
Now, let us look at the importance of blood donation. Let's once again, hammer on them as a matter of fact. She talked about somebody going to the hospital, going for medical checks, and then the doctor is saying, "Oh, I suggest that you begin to do it." At what point, really? At what point, really, is it important for someone to donate blood, or is it necessary for someone to donate blood? And then tell us some of the importance, really.
All right. Thank you. The importance of voluntary, non-remunerated blood donation can never be overemphasized. it has a lot of benefits. First of all, like one of the presenters have said earlier, there are people who gave birth that need blood. There are people that are leukemic, sickle cell, people involved in accidents, that the only thing that will be very vital to saving their life is availability of blood. So blood donation by able-healthy individual is very, very essential. Apart from saving lives of those that need it, it also has some benefits on the donor. Number one, it helps to the person have access to free health check that ordinarily will have cost some bogus amounts, but they will have privilege of doing those testing free of charge.
Donor or the relative of a patient that needs blood only pay for screening. Even the screening that we are talking about, if we are to say we collect money for ELISA, collect money for serology, it will be a huge amount and it will be heavy on patients to pay. So the government is even subsidizing that for people. So we just ask them to pay a token for the test that is being, yes, as a service charge for the test to be done on such blood before it's being transfused to the patient. You understand? And you know, despite the fact that people are coming to voluntarily donate, the rate at which we need this blood is increasing. You know, a person can donate 1 pint of blood, and when a patient needs blood, a patient can need 4-5 pints of blood at a
donor or per time.
One. You can only take one at a time.
And a patient can need more than
1 pint, especially during surgery, during childbirth, anything can happen. Even accidents, you never can tell.
Okay, now, Mr. OLUWOLE, what systems are in place to prevent illegal sale of donated blood in public hospitals?
Illegal sales, thank you very much. Like I've mentioned earlier, we have record taking. So for instance, in my facility at State Hospital, Abeokuta, our services are now under electronic medical services, EMS. So every patient that comes in, right from where they get card to seeing the doctor, nursing care, diagnostics and laboratory testings, everything goes through electronic record. So there's no way someone will get blood without passing through that. That has actually helped a long way in checkmating any form of wrongdoing. So with that in place, at least you can be able to check that there's no illegal sales of blood. And like my colleague and procedure have been put in place to checkmate that. For another thing that we also need to consider is that, like you have asked earlier, do we have adequate supply for blood? She mentioned that we could have a situation where the needs for blood, the demand could be higher than what we have in our blood bank. So we have to ask the patient relative to get donor. So in that aspect, at the point of need, you see some of these patients relative, rather than for them to come in, release themselves to donate, they tend to visit some people who are blood touts that donate blood for commercial purpose. So that the hospital is doing everything within its capability to prevent that, but there's a limit to which we can do that. Because they can discuss behind the scene. Some people attach some meat to blood donation. I want to say it categorically here that any blood that is donated in any blood bank facility anywhere in the world cannot be used for anything mystical, because when you collect the blood, there are chemicals which we call anticoagulant to prevent the blood from coagulation that mix with it. So that can be used for anything. The blood bank cannot use your blood for anything mystical. So I want us to erase such mentality from our mind that blood is used to save life. The another aspect of it is that a lot of people believe that when they donate blood freely, they sell their blood. Like my colleague have said earlier, blood is not for sale. What we charge in the hospital is what we refer to as service charge, which cater for all the tests at Abeokuta. The issue of storage, the electricity have actually, at least government is doing a lot in terms of provision of generating sets. Recently, they are installing solar to help us maintain cold chain. So that is also being put in place for effective service.
Well, I know there are 8 blood groups, and O positive seems to be the most common. But what about AB negative, B negative, A negative? How do you source for such rare blood?
Thank you. They are not really rare, so to say. We have them too. AB neg, AB pos. There is a particular blood that we call universal donor, so which is O negative. O negative can donate to all other blood groups. So we don't have to wait for somebody that is AB neg to donate to AB negative patient. You understand? If we can get O negative patient, we are good to go. And another thing is O neg can donate to either A neg, AB neg, or B neg, and even O neg itself. So any negative person can collect O negative. So we don't necessarily wait until we see that particular, okay, patient is A positive, so we have to look for A.
Have their email to remind them or to also encourage them to come back and donate.
Those are like commercial donors.
They are voluntary donors now.
No,
we
don't relate with commercial donor, like I said.
I know some.
But there are some people that will still come and present themselves as family relative. But behind the scene, they have had arrangements with the transaction with the family relative.
Because some want to give voluntarily, but they also expect something in return. Some believe they have to take multivitamins to replenish the blood that has been given or lost in a way. So do you give anything in return? I could remember back then in school, at least they would give us a malt and ask us to...
Well, thank you for that. In that regard, the management of our hospital, I have to speak for my facility now. One of the things we do to encourage and motivate our voluntary donor, even though we know it's non-remunerated, at the point of donation, there are refreshments, like malt, like you said, bottled water, table water. And recently, there is a provision of more cup to motivate.
So there's no tea fair?
Customized mug cup, and customized small towel to appreciate them for donating voluntarily.
And then to remind them to come back again.
To also come back.
Actually, at the point of donation, they have a card. On that card, we'll tell them the next appointment for them to come back and donate. So if you are a voluntary donor, you come to us. After bleeding you, we'll document your details. So we will be expecting them also. So sometimes they might not come to our facility at that particular day. They might go to another facility closer to them. You understand? But it will be documented on that card. So we follow the card.
Yeah, another good standard.
Or somebody who is actually not that is sick, kind of, like that. Okay. So what are those categories really that cannot really donate? I'm sure this can help some families, who might actually be in an emergency situation to get a donor. And so for them to now get that donor, they have to, quickly process this information and do the right thing.
Thank you. Could contain so many, or the lead,
the sharp objects,
can even be used to transfer so many of these transmissible infections, so, but the ink itself could enter the blood and is carcinogenic. So we can't transfer such person, such a donor, we can't collect blood. So like that, after doing all that, they will collect the small sample of blood, we'll test. If the PCV is not enough, is not up to 40, we will not collect. You have blood that is enough for you. It's not
you alone.
You cannot donate for anybody, so just keep maintaining yourself like that. But if it's above 40, yes, you're good to go. Then we'll check for all the tests like hepatitis B. If the person is having hepatitis B, surely we cannot collect. If the person is having hepatitis C, no, is a no. HIV, VDR, venereal disease, we cannot collect. So we just, if at the point of doing all these tests, we discover this, we'll refer such donor to see the doctor, for proper medical attention.
And in a way, you have even helped
exactly.
saving his own life.
Because yes, most of them will not know they have this disease until when they said, oh, I want to donate. Especially if relatives, family relatives, I want to donate.
We give to them. But most often, some of our people will not follow the counsel to later. So we've noticed, we have seen happen that some people after donating, they have fainting experiences, which may make them to collapse. And normally, before donating, one of the questions we ask them is, when was the last time you ate? I said earlier while we are having this program that one of the benefits of blood donation is it shed weight. You lose some calorie. So if someone is fasting,
Just after or before and after?
You can take after. Even if you don't take a month, if you are you eat normally, it does not have any effects.
I used to donate blood, but I used to feel dizzy, after donation, so I stopped.
What happened is that when you donate, we ask you to, like I've said, that you will be in a lying position for some time to allow blood circulate around the body so that you have blood, oxygen in the brain. That fainting experience, or it could be when there is inadequate supply of oxygen to the brain. So when you allow the blood to circulate, the public WHO said if 1% of a population of a particular community or a state donates blood regularly, it will be able to meet demands. There is this belief, which is general actually, that people will tell you that they don't eat well. How do you expect them to come and donate blood? So,
but is that not valid for someone?
Yes, it's valid. Well? It's valid because food gives us nutrients that are required. Usually have headache, he gets tired easily. So you now notice that his donation has had some therapeutic effect on him, which was one of what he's gaining.
So high peace.
It was encouraging. It was really, really encouraging. Despite the heavy downpour of rain, people still go all out, and they came in to donate. It was really encouraging.
Now that will now make one to say, if that, you experienced high turnout on Saturday, and you are always complaining about low blood in the bank. Instead of making the donation, instead of doing such only on a yearly basis when you have the World Blood Donor Day, why can't your institution, have it maybe on a quarterly basis or twice in a year, so that it will open more door for people to come around. And then awareness level, I really did not hear about that event coming up on Saturday, and so many persons also really to want to, I mean, because we're talking about 20 million blood, I mean, pounds of blood that we need.
2 million
Mm, 2
needed.
million.
2 million.
Agency who are also supporting. For instance, this World Blood Donors Day, we had the support of APIM.
Yeah.
They supported us. Fishing pharmaceutical company also supported us. So there are a lot of people out there that are out to support. So with all this in place, I believe we have the Vijay is there. So we have staff that will be able to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask, but what happens to unused donated blood? Is there a policy on expiry?
Yes, thank you very much on that. The blood collected from donor have shelf life, which is the expiry date. Once it is collected into a blood bag, which has will have a shelf life of 30 days, there are some particular that will make it to have a shelf life of 35 days. If after the expiration, we couldn't use the blood,
places of work, maybe churches, mosques, where people gather, and then you talk to them, let them see the importance. I mean, because even from what you have said, it is even, you know, to the advantage. When you donate blood, you are not just saving the life of the person that will be using the blood, you're also, in a way, saving your own life. You know, so if you take this thing to them, sometimes you may see a lot of people wanting to. So are you looking in that direction?
Well, thank you very much. As I said earlier, the federal government, in its good intent,
Donates. Is it just walking to the blood bank or coming to the hospital? And how about the duration? Because I've had people also complain that it takes too much time. Of course, we know you have to do the necessary testing and all of that. So how long, does it really take?
It takes, let's say, maximum of 1 hour. Under 1 hour, you are in and out. Yes.